This tape has been copyrighted. Any duplication or reproduction without written consent is prohibited.
All right. Anybody interested in knowing how I recruited people? Yes. All right, I'm going to show you. It still works just like it did when I did it the first time. Piece of cake. Let me do this first. This is really important. When you're recruiting somebody, there's essentially three things that people are really concerned with. Okay, three things. And if you address these three things, and you ask the appropriate questions, the whole key to recruiting somebody is not telling them stuff, not giving them information. It's asking the right questions. A lot of people, even some of you, you have a tendency to tell people things, and that's where you blow it. And you know what the problem is you recruit people in spite of yourself. You really do. You recruit people in spite of yourself. But you could increase dramatically the number of people you recruit if you start asking the appropriate questions. You could recruit 3 or 4 or 5, 10 people a month very, very easily. For at least 6 years in a row, I probably recruited 10 or 15 people a month, month after month after month. Okay, they weren't all directs, but I recruited that many people for a long time. And I tell you, this is the way you do it. It's real simple and it's very subtle. And the truth is, people don't even feel like they're being recruited when you do it right. They don't feel like it. It's just a natural evolution to the conversation, which is the key. So the first thing that people are very concerned about is the company credibility. Okay, people are very concerned. They want to make sure that if they're going to be affiliated with the company's credible. All right. Of course, we don't have an issue with that. I'm going to show you my presentation on how I would do that and the questions you ask. Okay. The second thing that people are very, very concerned with, they're more concerned about this than anything else, okay? More concerned by this than anything, and they don't tell you this, okay, is what will I do? Is it good for people? This is the number one concern everybody has. See, a mistake that a lot of you make is you think people come in Primerica to make extra money, that they want to make money. That's a huge mistake you make. If that was true, it's easy to make money in Primerica, and a lot of you don't make a lot of money. Okay, so that's not really what you are here for. Although you say that, it's way down on the list. You know, maybe third or fourth, making money. It's not the most important thing. People are more concerned about what others think about them, namely their friends, their family, their coworkers, by a long ways than they are about making extra money. Way more concerned about that. They're thinking, if I sell these products, are people going to think I'm just trying to make money on them? Is this going to be good for people? After I sell it to them, can I face these people at a party, at a birthday party or a wedding? They don't ever tell you that. But I'm telling you, it's more important to people. All of you in here, I guarantee you, one of the primary reasons you're here is because you really like what we do for people. You believe it's good for people. Right, Steve? Mutual funds, are they good for people? You have tangible evidence over your career that the things you've done for people has really helped them, right? Which is one of the reasons you love our business. You know, you like making money, but I guarantee you, for you, it's more important that you do the right thing for people. I know that. And you know, the truth is, it's true for almost everybody. For the person that's coming in just to make money, have you noticed they don't ever work out here? They don't ever work out here. Anybody that comes in, I can make a lot of money, they never last in Primerica. All right? They're more concerned about what people are going to think about them. So what you've got to do in your presentation, I'm going to show you how to do it and how I've always done it. You've got to show them that what we do is unbelievable for people. You've got to show them in a way that makes them feel like, oh my God, I have to show this to my brother. I have to show this to John, my best friend. I have to show this to my mom and dad. If you don't get them thinking that in the presentation, you're not going to recruit most of them. You talk about, one of the things I would talk about is talk about Sandy, because I think it's important. Leadership's everything. Would you agree with that? If you look at any successful group, organization, leadership's the whole deal, right? Look at all the sports and even in the Olympic athletes. I don't know if you've noticed how many times they're thanking their coaches. Okay, all the time, right? I mean, it's a big, big deal. They're always doing it because people understand leadership is important. So, would you agree with that? They say yes. Sandy, of course, is the ultimate leader in business. He really is the most prolific leader. He took a company, which is essentially commercial credit, which is about a $20 million a year profit business, about, I don't know, is it 12 to 14 years ago, and now it's making in the billions quarterly in profit. Okay? That's not like a little thing. That's gigantic. This guy's a genius. He's literally a genius. If you could be associated with a guy that's literally a genius, a proven genius in the industry, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to be affiliated with a company like that? Would you have, let me ask you a question, Mark, would you have any problem? And you need to ask it just like this, because you need to get rid of this issue up front. And I would ask you just, let me ask you something, Mark. Would you have any problem working with or doing business with the magnitude of Citigroup and Primerica that I've just shown you? Would you have any problem with that? You have to have that. If you don't ask that question, it can come up later. You know, like you said that you deal with you do the objections in the body. You've always done that. You deal with it in the body. So you ask that question so you get that done. Because if they say they don't have an issue with it, now all I have to do is I have to show them that what we do for people is fantastic, and more importantly, that they can't fail at it. That's the most important thing, that they can't fail at it. And that question's written right in there. But you've got to ask it like this. And then, this is important, right? You want to be dead? Okay. I just want to show you the F&A. You'll see all this stuff later. You already know that. But this is a big deal. Now, and then I would ask, I'd say, look, Mark, I'm going to show you what you would be doing if you got involved with us. Okay? What do we actually do for people? Because that's important to you, right? Okay? So first of all, one of the things we do, and I start with the loan part. Let me tell you why I start with the loan part. I think it's important to start with the loan part because the number one reason why people don't save more money is they have too much debt. Let's face it, right? When you go sit down with somebody, they're not saving hardly any money, but they have a car payment, two car payments, and they're paying $300, $400, $500, $600, $800 a month on car payments, right? And they have a bunch of credit card debt and blah, 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 and they're probably spending, apart from their mortgage, $1,000 to $2,000 a month on debt. That if they didn't have, they could be investing, right? Okay, so debt is the number one issue why people don't save money. Which is, by the way, what makes us really unique, okay, is that we're the only financial service company out there that addresses the debt issue. Financial planners don't address the debt issue. If people don't have money, they don't want to deal with them, right? Brokers don't address the debt issue. If somebody comes in and they go, well, I have debt, but I want to save money, say, well, good luck. Come back when you got some, right? They don't deal with them. We're the only company out there in the financial services arena that addresses the number one issue why people don't save money. We have a plan whether they have a house or not. We have a way of helping them get there. That's not a little thing. It's gigantic. It makes us very, very unique in the industry. We're the only company like that, which I like, by the way, okay? So we say, look, Mark, this is a client that we actually help. I'm going to show you 3 of the major products that we market where we help people, okay? And I'm going to explain to you how we do that so that you feel comfortable what it is what we do, okay? This client, Mark, had a loan for $65,000, right? 15 years left on it. Initially it was $73,000. Their house is $97,000, $640, and they had personal debt, credit cards, etc., cars of $24,000 and $775. Now, Mark, they're paying $1,415 a month to service this debt. Okay, so what we did is we looked at that and we said, look, we refinanced it. We gave them a new loan at first for $92,000. What happened is their payment went from $1,400 to $789 a month. Mark, that's $626 a month. That's over $7,000 a year of extra money we put in this family's pocket. That's pretty impressive. Would you agree with that? Now, if I was to come to your home and help you like that, would you be pretty excited? You'd be totally jacked up, an extra $600 a month. In addition to that, what we did is that where we're different from everybody else, Mark, what makes us special, why you don't want to do a loan with Ditech Funding or Countrywide or any of these companies that you see advertised, why we're so different and why I'm so proud of our company and so excited about what I do, is that what we do is they say, look, instead of saying, okay, see you later when you need another loan, okay, we don't do that. We take seriously what we say, that our goal is to help you get debt-free and financially independent. It's not just words that we're mouthing, it's real, okay? So look, we take $281, we invest it, right? At 10%, that's going to give them 58 grand in 10 years, but the most exciting part is we add 345 to the principal, which gets their house paid off in 10 years. And then, if they that 58 grand they have accumulated in $1,400 a month for the next 5 years, what ends up happening, Mark, they've got $203,000 in cash. Now, are they pretty excited about this time?
Debt-free with 200.
15 years later, debt-free, 200 grand. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to do this for your brother or your best friend or something like that, what would they think about you?
They'd love you.
They'd love you, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would.
Right. Now, if you were to show this, now let me just take it a little bit further. Now, that question's important. Why is it important? Because that's what they're most concerned about. You think they want to make money, but that's what they're most concerned about. That's why you have to ask that question. You say, look, Mark, if they were to take that $1,400 for another 17 years, they end up with $1,865,000. Do you know? If most people aren't going to do that, but if they did, you would be responsible for $1,800,000 in your brother's account or your best friend's account. About this time, how are they going to feel about you? I mean, you're going to be the godfather of the children, right? I mean, it's going to be incredible. So look, let me ask you a question. If you were to go show this to 10 people, and that you showed them you could do this for them, out of 10 people, how many do you think would go ahead with this proposal?
If we could do that.
Yeah, if we could do just like that. 10 out of 10. So if you were in the right market and sat down with the right people in this scenario, it would literally be impossible to fail. Wouldn't you agree?
If that's the way it works.
Yeah, if that's the way it works, then it would be pretty much impossible to fail, right?
Right.
If you just showed them the facts. Now, why do I ask that question? Because what are people afraid of? They can't do it. You think that it's something else. It's always they can't do it. But if I ask the question, if you showed it to 10 people, out of 10, how many would do it? And they say 10, then I say, well, then that pretty much makes it impossible to fail. Wouldn't you agree, Mark?
Yes.
Because at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, you told me it'd be impossible to fail. If it's impossible to fail, then can you give me a logical reason why you wouldn't go ahead? That's why you set it up. Because the only reason people don't do it is they think they're going to fail. So now you show them the income protection. This client had $200 a month for essentially $115,000. We gave him $325, $300. What it ends up being, hey, Mark, we gave him, this is the insurance part, 6 times more coverage for $136 less per month. That's no small feat, right? It's a huge difference. And what that means to the client, Mark, is that if they've got $325,000, if John dies, $325,000 at 10% gives off $32,000 a year in income. $75,000 gives $7,500 a year in income. If you figure that over 20 years at $7,500 a year, that works out to what? About $150,000, right? But see, $32,500 at 20 years is like $700,000 difference. So it's not just the face amount, it's what it means to the family. Do you see that? See, when you guys sell insurance, you shouldn't sell the face amount. You should sell what the income it generates over a period of time, not the face amount. See, that's the difference. Then it's not a little difference, right? Now it's not a $150,000 difference. It's $650,000 difference over the lifetime, which is the reason you buy insurance in the first place, right? So you ask the question. Now, and in addition to that, Mark, what we do is we take the $136 and we invest it at 12%. It grows to $475,000. So now, if they were to go to 65 approximately, they have the $1.8 million and they got the $475,000. Now they're over $2 million, and you're responsible for that. Do you think they're going to be upset with you for trying to set up an appointment with them to help them do that? Huh? No. They're going to love you, right? Again, let me ask you that. I'm going to keep asking the same question. If you were to show 10 people and they had a scenario like that, and you're able to make that kind of an improvement in their insurance situation, out of 10, how many do you think would go ahead?
If it works like that.
Yeah. How many out of 10?
10.
10, right. Again, possible to fail, huh? And you think that's repetitious, but you know what? People don't get things right away. I repeat myself like crazy. Some of you are smirking and going, yeah. Hey, I'm telling you. I recruited a lot of people. Because it's the psychology of it, you guys. Why you don't recruit people is people, by the time we get done here, and we go to the rule of 72, blah, 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 but this is the most important thing here. Anyway, so there we go. I compare. This same client now had $10,000, all right? People have different options when it comes to investing. $10,000 in a CD invested, this is 20 years prior. The slide before that shows is when it was invested, right? 20 years ago. The total value of that $10,000 in a CD is $39,920, and the average rate of return is 7%, which is, most people wouldn't think that's that bad, right? But if they invested that same money in the S&P 500, which is an index, right? And there are funds, index funds like that, but just in the S&P, same period of time, it's $266,000. This is the rate of return. Now, if you had, now this is how you find money too. Now, I'll ask you, Mark, if you had money someplace other than in equities, like in a CD or an insurance policy or something like that, and you were getting a rate of return that was similar to this,
I'd want to be right there.
oh, the question I was going to ask you, would you move it?
Oh,
In a heartbeat?
it makes sense.
Tonight, if we could do it?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. You see that? See, you got to ask the question. Again, ask the question. If we sat down with 10 people that had a CD and they could be doing this, how many out of 10 would do that? 10. So pretty much, it's impossible to fail, right? So what I'm going to do next then, Mark, we already know you can't fail at this thing, right? And you should be saying that. We already know you can't fail at this thing, right? Why is that important? Because everybody is afraid. I'm telling you, everyone's afraid, okay? So look, you can go the 4 ways to earn income, which we're not going to do that right now, but okay, this is how I show the. Let me show. I was talking to Chris Howard yesterday, and he has this, and I got some feedback, and he says, well, you know, the thing on the loan on the compensation, I made some changes and I added some more stuff to it, and I said, well, you know, that's a mistake, because one of the problems is people don't understand all this. If you're a district manager, no right, and they don't understand that. You're trying to see, the thing here is concept. What we're trying to get across. Not how everything works, okay? People, number one, most of you couldn't tell me all the compensation. If you go do a survey on Saturday with your base shop and ask them, could you explain to me how the compensation works on all the 3 products? You know how many people would say, yeah, I can do it? None. And they're in the business already. And you guys are trying to explain the concept and the override and how you get promoted. And people don't understand that, and they're not going to understand it. All you do is create fear in their mind that it's too complicated and I can't do this. Stop doing that. Just sell the concept. Now look, this is the most important part. Now, if you were to do that, if you were to go and see this client, like I just showed you, you help them with the loan, right? Now what do? We put $200,000, maybe $1.8 million extra in their pocket, save them $7,000 a year, $600 a month. Do you think they would begrudge you earning a fee for that?
No.
Ask the question like that. Do you think they would begrudge you earning a fee for that? Because people are concerned about that. They don't want their buddy, their brother, to think they're making money on them or wanting to make money on them, unless it's benefiting them dramatically. Then it's not a problem, right? They can justify it. We need to justify the income. You justify it by showing them what the value is to the client. That's how you justify the income. That's why you have to show that first, okay? You say, look, if you would have done that loan for them, you'd make $822. You know, on the insurance program where we gave them 6 times more coverage and $400,000 at retirement, right, for less money, you'd make $346 for helping them do that insurance program. And then if you helped them with the investment, you took them out of the CD and put them into an equity and made that kind of difference, you'd make $97. That's a total of $1,265. You know what's exciting about this, Mark, is that it probably take you about 6 hours to do that. That's about how much time you'd invest. Now, if you invested 6 hours and you make $1,200, how much does that work out an hour? What does that work out to an hour? Mark, what does that work out to an hour? And ask him until he answers you. You know, I asked him 3 times, right? He says 200 because I don't want to say it. I want him to say it. That's why the questions are so important. If I'm telling him, it doesn't work. See, but if he's saying it, then it works. You've got to ask and not tell. Most of you tell too much. You have to always be asking. All right? Critical. So look, it's $200 an hour. So is that more than you're making an hour right now? So if I could teach you, this is the key question. So if I could teach you, and you already know it's impossible to fail, right?
Right.
And notice how I bring that up again? If I could teach you, and we already know it's impossible to fail, right, Mark?
Right.
To make $200 an hour, can you think of any logical reason that you wouldn't get started with me?
No, I can't.
And you're going, no, it can't be that simple. Yes, it is, because he can't say anything but that. There is no other answer unless he's a complete idiot, which then in that case, I don't want to work with him anyways. Right? There's no way for him to say no. Impossible. Impossible. So then you go, you know what? There's another position that's this is a part-time position. Are you interested in finding out what you could make if you were full-time?
Sure.
Okay. If you become a regional vice president with our company, which I'm not getting into the details, but it's a full-time position. And don't get into the details. Oh, you got to recruit top people, and you got to do this, and you got to forget about that. They won't remember it anyways. You're just going to confuse them. Just let them know that there's this position. It's a full-time position. That's what it is, right?
Right.
It's a full-time position. If you're an RVP and you're full-time, this is what you'd make for doing exactly the same work. And point this out, for investing the same time, saying the same words, doing everything the same 6 hours, everything identical to the district leader, except you're full-time and you have a better contract level. This is what you'd make. On that same loan, $2,000 instead of $866, $822. And on the insurance transaction, Mark, you'd make $727 instead of $346. And on the investing, you make $256 instead of $97. So what that works out to is $3,069 for helping that client. Now, if you help the client to that extent, who's the real winner in that scenario? You or the client? The client guy that has over $2 million in cash now and all that. Who's the real winner here?
The client.
The client, absolutely. So the same 6 hours, 6 into 3,000 is what? What exactly?
6 into 3,000?
Yeah, $500 an hour, right? So you know most doctors or attorneys don't even bill out for $500 an hour? So of those two positions, which one's more attractive to you?
Definitely the full-time position.
Full-time. So if I could teach you how to get to the point where you could make that, would you consider leaving your current occupation?
How long do you think that would take? And you can answer
How long would you like it to take?
as soon as possible.
Okay, well then we'll get busy and we'll get started tonight then, okay? You see that? You don't think it works like that? It works just like that. The right person is going to be saying those things. They can't say anything else. What else can they say? Right? So you say, but this is not the most exciting part of it. Now I ask you, this is the question you ask, because do people have problems with overrides? Absolutely. They think you're taking advantage of people, okay? Everybody, they never tell you. They just think it, and they don't do it because they think it, and you never address it. Guaranteed everyone has a problem with overrides. Because they're all employees, they think their employer's screwing them already as it is, right, making money on them. They don't want to do that too because they don't like their employer, so now they're going to equate themselves with their employer. They don't want to do it. But they never say it. They just don't do anything. So you have to address it. So you say, Mark, have you ever trained anybody in any job you've ever had before? Lots of people, right? Everybody has, right? All of us have trained somebody at something. Okay, so that you ask that question, they say yes. So let me ask you a question. When you trained them, did you get paid extra for that?
No.
Oh, really? Would you have liked to have gotten paid extra? If you were to get paid extra, would you have be willing to train a lot more people? Yeah. What if you train those people, and when you train them, they become productive parts of a company, then they start being more profitable for the employer, right? What if you got a piece of their productivity forever? Would that be a cool thing?
Great system.
Be awesome, right? Well, let me show you how this works. Well, let's say that you get me involved. I'm the district manager now, right? You're the regional vice president, and you train me. You spend over a 6-month period. You spend maybe 100 hours with me. You go on appointments with me. You show me how to do it. You know, I get a little down. You call me. You lift me up. You make me feel special. You answer all my questions. You're Johnny on the spot. Anytime I need something, you're there to help me. You direct me in the right places. I mean, you just really care about me, and you pour your life into me. Would you feel like you would deserve some sort of remuneration, some compensation for that?
Yeah, that's my job description.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to give that much of yourself to me, you would deserve that. And of course, I probably wouldn't care because you helped me so much, right?
Right.
You see how I'm overcoming that right there without coming right out and saying it? He did just like that. I said, well, let me show you. If you were to help me and teach me how to do everything so I could go out and see a client and go make that $1,265 myself, and I know how to do it, I don't need you there, you've spent enough time with me, I'm totally trained, this is how it works out for you for helping me do that. On that loan, if I'm a district and I make $822, you make $1128. And you're not even there. But you taught me how to do it. And on the insurance, I make $346 and you make $381, and you're not even there. And on the investment, you make $97, I make $160. You make $160, I'm sorry. So then I go do all the work. You never see the client. You make $1,669, and you're not even there. How's that sound to you?
That sounds great.
So what if you had, over the next 18 or 24 months, you found 10 individuals that once a month, and they got to district manager, and once a month they just helped 3 clients like that. 1 client per person. So what does that work out to? 10 times 1,600 is what?
160,000.
No, a month.
16,000.
16,000, and that's a year is about what? Yeah, about 180, almost $200,000, huh? So what is the chances of you making $200,000 a year where you're at right now?
No, not going to happen.
So if I could show you how to do this, you're in, right?
Yes.
You're going to let me help you do that, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go. And then let's get started. IBA, he's got it with him, like, right? Put the little red package. Let's get started. No more talking. No, okay, I'll see you at the op meeting on Tuesday night. Right? You're in, you got him, let's go. See, so what's the key? The key is this. Recruit and develop people. It's a simple business. It's very simple. And that's how you recruit somebody. I'm telling you, if you did this with everybody, you'd recruit everybody. You would, because they couldn't say no. It didn't take, I don't know how long I took. I took a half hour maybe, right? But I was explaining everything, right? It doesn't take that long. And you know what you can do is you can take, this is what I would do if I was you, right? I would take a personal client of mine, because you have enough personal clients, okay, so that you can speak to it personally. Take a personal client that you did maybe all 3 things, or 1 of each, or whatever, okay, and put it together like that. You do the credibility, and then you spend the bulk of your time explaining what you do for the client in each area, tying them down to how that's great and how they can't fail. That's what you do. And then you just do the comp. And do the comp like that. Don't add, that's enough. That's maybe too complicated already, okay? What do we teach them? How do they get to district? No, nobody cares. It's not important right now. We want them to get started, right? We want them to be excited about getting started. We don't want them to know every detail right now, right? If you notice, those of you that give, when you don't need to give a lot of information to get somebody to go ahead with you on anything, you don't, okay? So you give them that, and you show them, and you tie them down all the way along. And then you say, let's get started, and go recruit a lot of people. Go recruit. Everybody you sit down with, you ought to just, hey, would you mind if I showed you how our business worked? Just ask the question. Whether they say, no, they're going to say, yeah, sure. And you show them. And then you recruit them. And then what you do is you take them out and you go field train them. And you do this again and again and again and again. That's it. Nothing else to it. All right? Hey, any questions at all? All right, we'll see you guys next time.